Good morning, everybody. This is Dr. Kulusu. I'm started a little early because I was already ready, so I didn't want to waste time. It's supposed to be at 11 o'clock, but I will go ahead and start the conversation a little bit if anybody comes up. Otherwise, I'll be speaking on this topic. As you know, I've been doing this weekly meeting on uh, my upcoming book, which is titled Modern Challenges, Ancient Solutions. Uh, so the idea is this: we have so many challenges bred by our civilization. Some of them are excesses, some of them are really um, not paid much attention to. We respond after these challenges become real issues, right? But when we really look at the ancient civilizations, ancient culture, ancient attitudes, and all that, we don't have to really go and live there, but then understand how they were um, commonsensical, how they were um, closer to the nature, how they did not really allow these problems to become such a big deal. Because the ancient civilizations are evolved people. They have evolved in this consciousness, in their understanding of life, in the understanding of nature, and how to interact with it, how to interact with the world, and all that. I was very inspired by what I saw, and now I have to relearn some things that the motor culture has bred, and really understand where they're coming from, and implement them in my life. For example, I'm going to talk about families today, why families are breaking up, and what was the attitude ancient had, and how did they really allow family work for the development of everybody in the family. Each member is benefited by their association and by their adopting some traditions, and also really drawing upon the family for support whenever they had challenging situations in the life, right? So that was easily done within the family lots of times. That's what I wanted to focus. Let us recollect what has happened thus far. We have opened, I think, 4 or 5 weeks ago, and we kind of had an introductory class where I was presenting why I perceive some of the modern challenges are really causing us harm, and how we can really look back and learn the ancient wisdom a little bit, okay? And put some of the hacks in the modern life so you can still be modern, technical, but at the same time have a control of your mind and your inner self and the body better. So that's what I do. That's why I'm trying to tell other people also. I'm a physician. I'm also an informatician, that is a master's in biomedical informatics, MD from the medicine. But also I'm a yoga practitioner and also Advaita student, like a non-duality student, right? And those things really contributed to my developing some skills to deal with the stresses of modern life. And now I'm a burnout coach and also stress coach for a lot of people, especially physicians, IT professionals, and the company leaders. So when we started, we had the introduction, and then we went into see how is this global climate change has developed, and where we can learn from the ancients about that. That is the first week. If you want to go back, and you can listen to that. And then we talked about the many wars that are going on, and how we could really understand the suffering, and how we could really not contribute to the further extension of many wars, but really act intelligently so that we elect people that will not be warmongers, right? Maybe these are tall orders, but then worth thinking about. That's all I wanted. People pay attention, people think for themselves whether these problems are something that is insurmountable or surmountable. That's what they need to evaluate. And then after the global climate change and the wars, and we talked about what is happening between the countries with the political leaders, and then how that whole thing is going on. And then we talked about the corporate culture, how corporate culture is breeding a lot of mental health problems, a lot of health problems, chronic diseases, and all that, right? And also this attention to work, not the inner being, is producing all this burnout people, and we talked about that too. And today I'm coming back to the society, and we will start with the family, and then we can talk about the individual later, right? Um, Families, for example, there's this ideal in ancient systems where they said Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. That means Vasudha means the entire world. Eka means one. Kutumbakam means family. The entire human tribe, the entire life stock of all varieties like plants and animals and everything. We are all one life, and we are all one humanity. That kind of awareness right from the beginning, but like a inclusiveness, and also really owning the earth, owning everybody, and then being responsible to them and not to cause harm. All those are bad. So every time we do yoga, we kind of come to that with that kind of feeling. Okay, we are all one, and we are all in one family. From there, what happened was later on, family itself became a very extended family. That means many generations live together. The grandpa, the father, and the child, but not only those three generations, but there are also uncles, aunts, and all those people. They all lived under the guidance of the grand old man or grand old men or women who are wise enough to guide the young people what is what. So the good traditions that they have learned about behavior, about education, about conducting all themselves within the family, all those things are passed down. That was the ancient culture. Okay, let's see what's happening in the modern culture. We have become more and more divisive in the sense, because we have that sense from the beginning. I am important, and I will be looking after myself. And for the sake, I will either exploit other members of the family, or I will use them for my own upliftment. And after I got what I want, I will throw them away so that I can enjoy all these things to myself. That is the prevalent attitude, right? And that is the one, even if you have several members of the family, one person displays that divisive sense of separation, then everybody will be like that too. And that has become to the extent where young people are really don't have a sense of family. Even if though they have a lot of family, they have no intimacy, they have no relationship with other members of the family. It's more like just living for their senses and for their pleasures. Okay, this is not really harsh or anything. This is actually happening. And people are breaking up from extended families and going to the individual family. And then again, individual family, wife and husband also, they have their own ego, their own thing they have to protect, and they fight, and the divorce rate is climbing down. So that's a simple way of looking at it. But the main thing is it, why is this separation? Why we think we are by ourselves, we are not connected to the other beings? But the ancient tradition tell you we are all in one energy. Now modern physics also telling us that we are all in one energy. Your neighbor is you, so that you don't want to hurt the neighbor. Your other family member is you, so that you don't have to hurt them or exploit them. That kind of thing, right? So let me say, one of my friends wants to come here. Oh, yeah, Amrita. Okay, very good. So that's what we are talking about. Let me welcome Amrita. And
Dr. Ram.
hi, Amrita. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
I am great. So nice to see you here. Okay, very good.
Nice to hear you, Dr. Rao. I was listening to your conversation where you were mentioning about the ancient civilization, and I just
Yeah.
got in. This is a very interesting topic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's important for us because like once you have that inclusiveness that everybody is our family, our chemistry
Yeah.
changes, Amrita. Don't you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I like the fact that you said that actually we are all one. And
Yeah.
when we start separating ourselves,
Yeah.
that's when we start showing up our ego in different ways. And
Yeah.
then it results in all kinds of conflicts around us, right?
Yeah, yeah, that's the problem. See, lots of
Yeah.
times this is the ego that people don't understand, and then divide themselves, especially couples.
Yeah.
Somehow 1983, I think it started. Young, I was also young at the time. I was 27, I think. But
Okay.
I have always had this inclination about family together and all that. I enjoyed that in India, right? When I come here,
Yeah. Yeah.
these young women and men, they were
Yeah.
dietitians, therapists, and all. They used to come and meet me for their own personal relationship problems, you know.
Mm,
And I
mm,
used to see that from there till now, I'm seeing that most of the time it is like an egoic conflict. Either
right.
the man is putting the woman down or woman is putting the man down. Always I thought that when you first met, what was your feeling? That
Mm,
was
mm,
love from the heart. you know Now, are you thinking with your heart now or with your mind? And they say,
right.
yeah, I'm thinking with my mind, with my ego.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
back to the feeling what you had, and then let go these things. You see, that's what I saw in India. My aunts and uncles and all that, my
Yeah.
uncle can be very curt to her. Come on, keep it on, come on down. And then they don't make a big deal out of it. But he still has a love for her, and he may be superficially kind of curt, but they don't
Yeah.
make a big deal. And
Yeah.
then he has a lot of respect for her. He doesn't mess with other women. He
Yeah.
doesn't go away. All that qualities are there. Then I said, oh my God, this ego thing is really breaking up people's happiness.
So true. Yeah, yeah,
That
very much.
hasn't
As you
changed
said, like
though.
having that kind of, you would call it like joint family, right? You learn
Yeah,
a lot of skills during that process. As you said, like there could be conflicts, but at the same time, you also learn how to be together, right?
yeah, that's it. Whatever happens, we are together. Like me and my wife are married, and
Yeah,
it's like we are together forever. That's it.
yeah. Yeah, no, I completely understand that, and it is an interesting skill that we can develop. It's not
Yeah,
something that we cannot relearn and educate ourselves,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You can develop. There, no doubt. That's the problem. That's the thing we have to look at. You see,
Yeah,
I mean, why do you think that only I have to have everything I can to really share even with my loved ones? And
yeah,
that is bred by this nuclear family formation, and you are for yourself, you
yeah,
enjoy everything. I think that division came up, and people are really breaking them apart. And also,
yeah.
in India, the language also helps, Amrita, because they
Mm,
used to say in Telugu, for example, this is called mamata. That means
mm,
affection,
mm,
right? And
yeah,
mamakaram, that means you really have this enormous feeling of consideration or affection for other people. Then though you show them, and the elderly showed us. My aunts and
yeah,
uncles, they took us close to them and then
yeah.
supported us, and I felt the love in that hug. You know,
Right.
there was no explanation, just was there. It's a natural thing. Now this abuse of the kids and all these
Right.
things, that really
Yeah,
what a wonderful human thing that is when you have that kind of affection. Like when people come to me, and then when I take them, I have the same kind of what's called vatsalya in
right,
Sanskrit.
right, right.
Vatsalya means that enormous feeling of love without
Yeah, and
expecting any,
compassion, right? Yeah,
yeah, without expecting anything in return.
right, right, right.
That
Yeah,
means you can go to the elderly, and then you can sit with them, and then you can feel that they have the regard for you, and they have this protective atmosphere, like
yeah,
more like
yeah,
a
yeah.
I'm
Completely.
go
I was born under such a surrounding,
yeah,
Dr. Rao, so I completely understand what
yeah,
you're referring to. there is no boundary with the love that they show towards
Yeah,
us, right? They are not expecting anything back
anything.
from you to
Yeah,
actually have that loving communication.
yeah. When my son
Yeah,
was growing up, Amrita, he's
yeah,
now 26 or so, but when he was
yeah,
growing up, 10 years or so, he came to
yeah,
me and asked me, Dad, what is love? You
yeah,
know, then I told him this definition: having this enormous affection for somebody
yeah.
without expecting anything in return.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dr. Rao, this is one of the basic human need, if you
Yeah,
look, that everybody is looking for in their life, right? Just
exactly.
like food or water, this is
Mm,
something that we all need to actually progress forward in our life as
yeah,
well.
yeah. See, it's a
Yeah,
question of discovering your real self beyond the
yeah,
ego. That is where it all boils down to, Amrita.
right.
Then you don't have to really protect anything, you don't have to gain anything, and
Yeah,
you can give. Other thing is, I call my company be a pal, right? Each letter has a meaning for me. I put it
okay.
there in my website. But the last L, that word L,
Yeah,
the letter, it stands for loving.
mm,
Loving means I'm not asking somebody to give me love. I
yeah,
am being loving.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
That
and
that
you're talking about that unconditional love,
Yeah,
which is
unconditional. And
whatever or whoever you are,
yeah,
right? Yeah,
yeah, and it feeds you. It feeds you. It feeds everybody around you, and then you can give unconditionally give,
yeah,
because it
yeah,
is overflowing, outflowing from that. I
yeah,
I,
yeah,
I kind of talked about this lots of times, because my
yeah,
mother was a conditional loving person.
right.
So I picked that up from her. I never
Yeah,
lost it, even though I've been living in the United States since 1981, November 5th. That's when I came
yeah,
in. I never lost that, because that heartfulness, that is the
right.
one sustenance of me and my friends and everybody, because
Yeah,
they can reach out for me or anything,
yeah,
and no conditions. If I can do it, I will do it. Otherwise, I will direct somebody else who can do
mm,
that. But
yeah.
essentially, I do feel for them, you know.
So true. Yeah, yeah. Dr. Rao, I actually have a request for you before I actually lose
Hmm.
the connection here. One request is I am actually talking about the topic on toxic relationships or through my Peace Bridge talk show on Voice America, and I would like to have you as a guest there.
Sure.
So I wanted to know your availability today, if you are available sometime today to have a short chat
Yeah,
on this.
the calendar is right in front of me. I think 3 o'clock would be fine. 3 o'clock Central
Three.
Time. I don't know what time is yours.
For me, I'm in Mountain Standard Time. I'll check it out. I can drop you a chat with the meeting link,
Yeah,
Dr. Rao. If you can please join me and share your wisdom
sure.
on my talk show, that will be awesome.
Oh, I would love that, Amrita. I love to talk to you, so I will definitely.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. This is such a delicate subject, and
Yeah,
I totally understand how lots of families are breaking up because of certain skills that they lack and certain
yeah.
communication issues, and lots are there, right? Like you mentioned earlier, like you don't have to control someone, or
No,
you don't have to be superior than someone to
no.
actually run a family, right? Yeah.
Those are all egoic activities. If
Yes.
you don't have that, then who
Yes.
is it trying to dominate
Yeah.
to that to do it? So it's kind of very secure thing, if you can
Yeah.
really work without the ego.
Yeah.
Like for example, you are very young to me.
Yeah.
Why don't I can have a nice feeling of affection like I have for a child?
Right. Right.
And that has to be, when the feeling I have with youngsters like that really fits me too.
Right. Yeah.
And then I don't have to have anything. I just go there and then talk to them, and then I don't need to exert anything on them or say that this is the way that you should do it. I don't do that, because everybody is in their own journey of understanding. Let
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can only present it, and they can look at it and go from there. Where I learned this?
Right.
I learned it from Ramana Maharshi.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah.
See, what he said was he would not go anywhere out of the town, right? He
Yeah.
stayed there for about 50 years. He was
Right.
16 when he came there. and then
Yeah.
he died 50 years later. But all the
Right.
50 years he stayed only there. No propaganda, no
Yeah.
asking anybody. And then what he
Yeah.
said was, I'm going to talk to them for whatever they want to know.
Mm.
I'm
Mm.
not going to impose that on them, you know. And
Yeah, and
also,
through silence, right? Yeah.
yes, yes, true silence also. Not only that, so he
Yeah.
never said anybody do this.
Do this. Yeah.
I will still have to work with it. Some who have to tell that's okay.
Yeah.
It's the inner world that he's talking about.
Yeah.
Everybody has to come with their own questions they want to find out. There's so much there. For example, you want to be silent like that,
Mm.
you know.
Mm.
What
Mm.
is it? The fact is, you are not silent.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Work on that. You know, don't
Yeah.
say I'm silent, but then your world goes continuously churning.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're talking about the silence of your mind, right? Like
Yes,
the
yes,
chattering is what you're referring.
yes, yes. You know,
Yeah.
actual it is
Yeah.
our reach,
Yeah.
but we allow ego to develop and disturb this silence. So,
Yeah.
transcending the ego for the family structures, I think it's very, very important, Amrita. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah, so true. And once we work on ourselves, then
Yeah,
it is easier to kind of improve that relationship and
yeah.
improve your family situation also, right? Yeah.
Actually, that's the only thing you can do. You can
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
cannot ask them to change because
yeah.
they have their own journey. You see, this is
So
where
true.
modern and Eastern approach is. Eastern
Yeah,
approach is more like a you have samskaras, vasanas, they
yeah,
all
yeah,
form, and
yeah.
according to that, each soul differs. So
Very
just
much.
because
Yeah,
even the twins that the same with any other way, but then
yeah.
when it comes to their habits of thought, their
Mm,
habits, how they go about it, they're
yeah.
completely different.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree because there is an important point that you said. Like, if you start changing,
Yeah.
it is the only thing that you can do.
I
And
said.
the important part is that once you start changing, your environment also slowly starts changing. Yeah.
Exactly. Actually,
Yeah.
this is the thing that the modern people missing, and I'm trying to bring it out is
Yeah.
each blissful moment is so
Yeah.
good. Then you don't have to go out of the external pressures that much. Maybe I can talk about this. I'm like an older guy. I'm now 68, so I can talk about that. But then young people can have the pleasures on the other. Beyond that, they should understand this wisdom a little bit. You know.
Right. Right. It will help them to manage their
Yeah.
family or relationships more effectively. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see, this
Yeah.
ego
Yeah.
and sense orientation is
Yeah.
causing these families to split up.
Yes, yes, yes. So true, Dr. Rao. I am available at your 3 p.m. Central Time.
Okay.
So I'll definitely share the meeting link with you, and I look forward to a deeper conversation with you on this subject.
Sure, sure. I'll go as deep as you want.
No, I'm glad that you're actually presenting this topic through wisdom also
Yeah.
because this is going to bring light to lots of people who are listening here.
Yeah. This is a thing I was doing for my book, right? Modern
Yeah,
Challenges, Ancient
yeah,
Solutions.
yeah,
I was inviting people to contribute if they can, and then I will
yeah,
also include some of that. But then many people are, listening or not. I will
yeah,
get the book out, but then let's
yeah.
see what happens after that. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I would like to also invite all the listeners who are here, Dr. Rao,
Yeah.
to actually listen to the Peace Bridge Talk Show on Voice America
Yeah.
on Wednesday, 5 p.m. to listen our conversation like with Dr. Rao on relationships. Yeah.
Very good. Actually, I'm delighted to see youngsters like you having this serious
Yeah.
bent of mind, Amrita.
Yeah.
That makes me very happy, delighted. You know?
Yeah, yeah. It's easier to change when you're young, right,
Yeah.
Dr. Rao?
Yeah.
That's
Actually,
what I
that
believe.
is actually needed to avoid
Yeah.
further suffering down the line.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to
Yeah.
join and talk with you today.
Yeah, it's my pleasure, Amrita. You see, Amrita, recently I discovered her on the Wisdom app, and she has her own talk show. and I listened to one of her talk shows because she asked me to do, and I thought she did very good professionally. And then the discussion they talked about, I think, addiction or something like that. And then I'm going to go to her room today and see what we can come up with some of the toxic relationships and their thing. So in this room, what we were talking about is more like why families are breaking up. Can we do something about it, or do you want to be part of the family? So now what happens is people make their own friends and other members of the society as their close relationship, and they consider them as family. That is also very good, I think, but it's a sense of family. You are born into a family doesn't mean you'll have intimate relationship with all of them due to many reasons, but you can always go back and then just there was a story I will tell you that illustrates our state of affairs. There were two sisters that were getting old. They're into 65 some above, right? And they both were not talking for about 20 years because they had some differences. And then one sister got sick and they thought she may die, right? And then the other sister, who is rather doing okay, but she's also in the nursing home, and she comes to visit her. And then they both sit down, and then the girl says, I came because I heard that you are going to be dying. This is only happens if you are dying, but if you don't die and survive, I mean, again we go to the same thing. So that means their inner animosity is so strong, they cannot get out of it. See, the more you hold on to these animosities and allow them to take grounded, they will become much more. I think that's what happens with a lot of relationship. They can't let go because their ego, their pride, their own feeling that I have to defend myself, I have to exert myself, that kind of thing. But suppose you go beyond that ego. See what a beautiful thing could be. Those sisters can enjoy each other's company, can share things with each other and all that, right? So that's it's not like copying out to somebody else's dominance. It's more like a tolerating them and giving them room so that they can really be themselves. But you can be a friend, and then without asking them to submit to yourself. See, these are all the egoic activities. Let's examine what the ancients found out about this ego and why most of the religions are striving for that. They are saying something bigger than you, like your God, and you kind of prostrate before the God. You kind of submit to them. You can surrender to them. Those are activities of religion, right? But then these people are not doing that because they allow that sense of identity. They called it ahankara in Sanskrit. That means aham means me, kara means I am the one who is important. That selfish egoic structure done by thought construct, that's not really you. There is a life, there is a being beyond these thoughts of separation, thoughts of egoic nature. That's not you. Once you identify that's not me, these thoughts are coming, and but I can observe them. I can be myself, which is the inner self, which is giving, which is peaceful, which is serene. Then everything is upside down. So the explanation they gave is we are born with the spiritual heart, and out of that heart this sense of I gets out, saying that I have to take care of my livelihood, I have to work, I have to protect myself and all that. Practical matters, fine, that sense of I-ness and all that, but why does it have to become separative? That's where the problem comes. So spiritual practice is getting back that separative I that we think it is to the real spiritual heart, which is ourself, and then the further meditations, traditions of all these rituals, everything happen. But if you can be just yourself, then you can see all these thoughts as an observer, and then they will not take hold of that much. So you let them go as they happen. Okay, so that may be a simple explanation, but that is really true. It happens with a lot of people that they allow these things. Okay, so understand this and develop the inclusiveness whereby that is really the fact we are all in one energy and one consciousness. Once you land up in that, this modern tendency of developing separative ego, uh, basically because most of these egoic structures are intellect based, right? And then once you already operate with that, then you always have this separative self, which is going to divide the families, which is not going to allow people to come together. Okay, so I've seen that in my life with a lot of young people, and even now it's happening. So many divorces are increasing. So many people are suicidal because they feel alone and they don't have anybody. They don't belong to anything or anybody, right? So that's a very tragic way of leading the life. Okay, so understand all this, and uh, we will talk more about it as the time goes on. And I think it's over about 30 minutes I talked today. Anybody wants to come up, you are welcome to come up. But this is going to be a little bit more deeper into why families are breaking up, what we can do, how we can create an atmosphere of support and love and friendship and encouragement among family members, just by letting go some things. All those things will in the book. And if you have any suggestions, anything like that, you're welcome to engage me in that. I will talk to you. I will listen to you. I'll read your suggestions, and then as I'm writing down, I'll put it down. There are certain people reached out to me, only a few people, but that's okay. But I'm trying to promote something. If it takes roots into even one person, and then he begins to think about it, I think my purpose is done. Okay. All right. If everybody's okay with that, I'll end the talk here, and then I'll be talking to you next week. Okay. Thank you.